Looking at youths under the aegis of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, who took to the streets of Port Harcourt, the River State capital, today to drum up support for the fight against all forms of criminality in the state and the Niger Delta region. The youths, who carried placards with various inscriptions, walked from 1st Artillery through the busy Aba Road in Port Harcourt. The leaders told journalists that reports of kidnapping, killings, pipeline vandalism and other vices have become too troubling for them to keep silent on. For 21 years, residents of Diebiri, Warri, Southwest local government area of Delta State have lived away from their ancestral home due to a boundary dispute involving two communities, Ogbejo and Alaja. The people claim to have written several petitions to various administrations in the state to have them relocated to their original home, all to no avail. Our committee report tonight looks at the plight of the Diebiri people.
Now you're talking. "21 years. That is a long time to be redundant. A long time to be forced out of a place known as home. But how did these people, through no fault of theirs, get to this point? In 1995, the region of Warri South was thrown into chaos as a result of clashes over land between two communities, Ogbejo and Alaja. A battle so fierce that it affected the community in the middle, Diebiri.
Unknown to us in the night, they turned their weaponry against the Diebiri people, maimed us, sacked us, committed a lot of sacrileges.
A commission was set up, and the internally displaced were promptly relocated to a neighboring community, Bata. And in spite of having an oil exploration firm as their neighbor, there is very little to show for their presence. No healthcare center to cater for the sick, no school, no facilities for private convenience. It is difficult for the people to fish because the water is polluted. Suffice it to say, they have been pushed to the wall. And it appears the residents are bouncing back with this protest to vent their frustrations. Their demand, a return to their ancestral land, which is currently unoccupied, but they fear that it will soon be encroached upon by the warring communities.
We are crying for our home. If government don't answer us, we don't tire. What will happen?
The people say countless petitions have been sent to state governments in the past, but all they ever came up with were committees who looked into the matter with nothing to show for it. Now, this is what the present administration has to say.
Presently, a high-powered committee has been set up to look into the issue of Ogbejo and Alaja. And Diebiri has to be, incidentally, is another community, around that same region. They have been well empowered to be able to give us a lasting solution.
Is that any different? Commitment is a state of being dedicated to a cause, and for these displaced people, their focus is to cry out until a willing government comes to their rescue and takes them back home.
Etisola, now you're talking.
On June 10, 2016, members of the Nigerian Association of Nurses and Midwives at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital embarked on an indefinite strike. The management of the hospital described their action as ill-advised, as the nurses allegedly made no provision to care for emergencies and patients at the intensive care unit. The nurses, however, have been explaining reasons for the decision taken so far. Our correspondent, Yomi Otaigbe, heard them out.
Patients and their family members at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba, come in for medical care at a time when the full complement of the medical team is not available. It's about 1 month since nurses and midwives at LUTH have been away from their duty posts. Their grievances stem from a number of reasons they gave. non-promotion of nurses to CONHES 13 as chief nursing officers, non-promotion of junior nurses for 6 years and above. Others are outstanding 2015 promotion results of 71 nurses and inadequate facilities such as lack of consumables, manpower, irregular water and power supply. But the management of LUTH in a press release addresses the allegation of non-promotion of 71 nurses in 2015, indicating that LUTH interviewed and recommended for promotion over 200 nurses, but 71 of them were excluded by the Federal Ministry of Health for not having BSc degree in nursing. On the issue of non-payment of salaries and allowances, the hospital says the nurses are paid directly from Abuja on the IPPRS government platform, and it has no hand in it. The hospital reminds the striking nurses that in line with the existing regulations, no payment shall be made for work not done. While the striking nurses and LUTH management go back and forth, the patients who are at the receiving end of the dispute continue to groan. Yomi Otaibi, reporting for Channels Television News.
I'm being joined on the news at 10 now by the chairman of the Nigerian Nurses and Midwives Association of Nigeria, LUTH chapter, Comrade Adelaja Oluyemisi. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the news at 10.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. The Eid Mubarak. I don't know what religious affiliations you have, but it's been more than a month now, or almost a month now, since you have embarked on this strike action. Any chances of your coming back soon?
Depending on the negotiation, we are ready for reconciliation. We are ready for negotiation with the management and the Ministry of Health for them to do the needful and give us our rights.
Speaking of your rights, now one of the reasons we understand that this strike action is taking place is because of the non-promotion of these 71 of your members,
yes,
which the board says have to have a BSc degree in order to be promoted. But you say it's more than that.
It's more than that. And that is not even correct, because promotion of nurses or nurses from CONHES 12 to 13 does not have a criteria of people that have BNSC nursing, as is applicable to other federal health institutions in Nigeria in 2015, where people were promoted beyond CONHES 12 without BNSC nursing. It's only in LUTH that is the main applied. And we are saying for equity, justice and fairness, the same thing that has applied to others should be applied to nurses in LUTH. That's what we are saying.
What are the other issues that you?
The other issues are non-payment of our teaching allowances, which is being paid to other nurses in other institutions. Because this is a teaching hospital, and nurses are teaching, while nurses that are entitled to these allowances are denied. People that are not entitled, they are being paid up to date. Whereas nurses that are entitled to teaching, they are being owed from October last year till date.
Now, much as Nigerians feel, your plight, there's also the plight of those who are in hospital and are needing medical care, needing, a nurse's touch. Were there provisions made, for these people who are probably at the emergency ward or people who are still in hospital, expecting nurses to be there to take care of them? Are there provisions for that? Are you thinking about helping these Nigerians out?
Yes, it may interest you to know that part of the reason why we went on this strike is because of the environment that is not conducive for patients. Incessant power supply, whereby you see nurses using torchlight and phones to take care of patients. Non-availability of consumables, where nurses use our money to buy syringes and needles, gloves, and to buy stationaries, so that we'll be able to document. There is no water to wash hands, even before and after taking care of patients. At times we use our money to buy soap to wash our hands.
A really grim situation you're painting there, but hopefully the government is listening.
Yes.
And your needs will eventually be met. Thank you so much
for joining
this
opportunity to call on the people at the top.
And they're listening.
They're listening. And Nigerians.
Thank you.
To appeal to the people in power to do the needful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Still ahead on the news at 10, Andy Murray withstands a dramatic fight back from Joe Wilfred-Songa to win 5 sets as he reaches his 7th Wimbledon semi-final.